Claiming Social Security at 62 can be a great decision, but the problem is that most people are doing it for this one wrong reason that financial advisors completely avoid talking about. And the worst part, many retirees don't realize that claiming early for the wrong reason can cost them more than a brand new house. I'm Josh Palmer, Certified Financial Planner, and today I'm going to show you exactly why this happens and the 4 simple steps you can take to ensure you're making the right claiming decision for yourself. First, we have to start with the math, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Say you're entitled to $3,000 a month at your full retirement age of 67. Claim at 62 and you get about $2,100. Wait until 70 and you get $3,720. That's $1,620 more every single month for life. And on top of that, the part most people miss is that those cost of living adjustments compound on a larger base every single year. So a 3% COLA on $3,720 gives you $112 more per month in year 1. On $2,100, you only get $63, and it snowballs from there. By year 10, that monthly gap could grow to over $2,100. By year 20, you're looking at a difference of $2,700 or more every single month. Over a 25-year retirement, that's potentially $500,000 in lifetime income walking right out of the door. And if you're married, the stakes are even higher. I'll come back to that in just a minute because the numbers for couples are even more alarming. So with numbers like that, why do most people still file at 62? Well, Duke University researchers discovered something fascinating. Retirees don't make this decision with a spreadsheet. They make it with their gut, and their gut is lying to them. It's called loss aversion. When that monthly check is just sitting there waiting for you, not taking it feels like losing money, even though waiting would give you dramatically more over your lifetime. I hear it constantly in my office. Clients come to me and say, Josh, I've paid into this my whole life. I want what's mine. And I understand that feeling completely. It's human. It's natural. But what feels safe in that moment is quietly costing people a fortune over the course of their retirement. And here's what makes it even scarier. Social Security's trust fund is currently projected to face funding pressures around 2033. My colleague Jared did a video on this subject if you want to dig deeper, but if Congress doesn't act, benefits could be reduced by as much as 21% across the board. Now I want to be clear, most experts believe Congress will find a solution before that happens. But the problem is that fear, that uncertainty, is causing people to panic and claim early right now. People are saying, I better get mine before something changes. And that emotional reaction is locking them into permanently reduced benefits for the rest of their lives. They're doing exactly the wrong thing, but they're doing it for a very understandable reason. Let me tell you about Robert and Diane. Robert came to us at 63, still doing some consulting work, and he had his mind made up. He said, Josh, I've done the math. If I claim now, I break even around 79. My father passed at 76 and my uncle at 74, so I think taking it early is a smart move for my family. It made sense on the surface, but retirement planning isn't a straight line and it's never just one number. We ran a full analysis accounting for taxes, Medicare premiums, inflation, and portfolio withdrawals, and what we found genuinely shocked him. By claiming at 62, Robert was going to push more of his other income into higher tax brackets. That triggered larger Medicare premiums, what we call IRMA surcharges. It was a double penalty he never anticipated and never would have caught on his own. But here's what really shifted his thinking. By delaying to 70, we had a 7-year window with no Social Security income coming in. We used that window to do strategic Roth conversions from his traditional IRA, moving money over at a lower tax rate before Social Security kicked in. Those conversions reduced his future required minimum distributions, kept him in lower tax brackets for decades, and built a growing pool of tax-free income that wouldn't trigger higher Medicare premiums later in retirement. And then there was Diane. If Robert passes first, she inherits his benefit, the larger one, with all those compounding costs of living increases applied on top. That's giving her potentially $1,800 more per month for the rest of her life, just because they made one different decision together. Now, not every situation looks like Robert and Diane's, but let me tell you next about Carol. Carol was 64, single, retired early from a long career in corporate HR, and she genuinely needed income to bridge the gap before Medicare kicked in at 65. She had modest savings, no pension, and real cash flow pressure month to month. A lot of advisors would have looked at her situation and said, claim now, you need the money, end of conversation. But we looked deeper. Carol was in excellent health. Her mother lived to 94 and her aunt to 97. And by claiming at 62, she would have locked in a 30% permanent reduction on every check for the rest of her life. Instead, we built a 2-year bridge strategy using a careful combination of portfolio withdrawals and a small part-time income stream that let Carol wait until 65. Not 70, just 65. That one adjustment increased her lifetime benefit by over $90,000 and kept her out of the lowest benefit tier permanently. Carol told me, "I didn't think waiting was even an option for me. I assumed it was only for people with large portfolios and no cash flow worries. Knowing there was a middle path that actually worked for my life situation changed everything for me." Here's something else most people aren't factoring in, and this one genuinely changes the math for everyone watching. Half of all 65-year-olds today will live past 85. 1 in 4 will live past 90. And we are entering one of the most extraordinary periods of medical advancement in human history. AI accelerated drug discovery is compressing what used to take decades into just a few years. Personalized medicine based on your own genetic profile is becoming mainstream. Treatments that seemed like science fiction 5 years ago are entering clinical trials right now. People are making lifetime claiming decisions based on life expectancy tables that are already outdated and will look nothing like reality facing someone who is 65 today. If you're in your 60s and in reasonably good health, a 30 or 35-year retirement is not an extreme scenario. It may simply be your reality. And that makes maximizing your Social Security your only guaranteed inflation-adjusted lifetime income stream that you absolutely cannot outlive more critical than most people ever stop to consider. Here's the other thing I see so many people ignoring: inflation. We all felt what happened between 2021 and 2023. Prices for groceries, gas, housing, and healthcare didn't just go up, they reset to a new normal. And in retirement, with a fixed portfolio that's being drawn down every year, inflation is one of the most dangerous forces you will face. Social Security, with its built-in cost of living adjustments, is one of the only retirement income sources that actually keeps pace. And the higher your base benefit, the more that adjustment is worth to you every single year. Claiming early permanently shrinks that safeguard for the rest of your life. So what steps do you need to take? Well, here's what I walk every client through before they ever file for Social Security. First, run a full timing analysis. Don't guess and don't rely on the Social Security Administration's generic estimates alone. Model it with your actual taxes, your real COLA projections, your Medicare situation, and your spousal benefits fully accounted for. The difference between claiming at 62 versus waiting can easily be 6 figures, and it compounds more every single year you live. Second, coordinate your Social Security decision with your tax plan. Up to 85% of your benefits can be taxable depending on your other income sources. A strategic Roth conversion plan in the years before you claim can save you tens of thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement and safeguard you from Medicare premium surcharges at the same time. Third, think about your spouse every single time. Even if you're the lower earner, your timing decision affects your partner's financial security for the rest of their life. The higher earner's benefit becomes the survivor benefit. Giving that away carelessly is one of the most consequential and irreversible financial mistakes a couple can make. Fourth, and this one's important, check your emotions before you file. Seriously, stop and ask yourself honestly, am I making this decision because it genuinely fits my retirement plan, or am I making it because it feels safer right now? Because fear and discomfort are not a retirement strategy. They're just feelings. And they are incredibly expensive feelings when it comes to Social Security. The people who get this right are not necessarily smarter or wealthier than the people who get it wrong. They just had someone in their corner who helped them see the full picture before they filed. So to get a free look at your full picture, click on the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. We'll dive into your unique situation so you can make a confident, informed decision. We'll talk to you soon.